Hello, everybody. We are back with Dicing with Death, and I believe I have surprise on these people as I
Yes.
leap towards
You leap
them.
upon the Johnson boys. Which one? The one on the
The
horse?
mounted one.
The one on top of Fancy?
hmm Uh,
The other brother is on the other side of the horse, next to the staircase.
if they don't see me coming, I think that's because I'm coming from behind. That would be a back attack.
Yeah, you stand up out of the grass, break into a sprint as quietly as you can.
And if they don't see
He's
me
on a
coming, that's
horse, so unless you want to
surprise.
make like a weird maneuver to get onto the horse, I think you're just sort of stabbing from the ground. You can still get a back attack.
Since I have a horseback riding proficiency, I can leap onto my horse
Yeah, I
from
think
behind.
that's what I was saying. You can do that if you'd like, but I think you'll have to do a successful proficiency check.
Is it riding land based?
Can leap from the back of the steed to the ground.
The character can vault into a saddle whenever the horse or other mount is standing still. Does not require a proficiency check.
Sure. Where do you see this? Oh,
The very first one.
In which, if he wishes to get the mount moving, he must make a check. All right, so you'll have to make a check if you want to attack in the same round.
Okay. Then I will go for it. I'm going to leap on the horse. My check is d20 plus 12. That means I need a 9 or better. It's actually pretty shitty. We're going to do it. We're going to leap onto our horse. Rolling.
20.
No, it's plus 12, not plus 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you succeed.
I leap onto the horse.
You needed a 9, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
And make an attack at plus 4. Did you charge as well?
Oh, yeah, I did charge, so that should be 5.
Yeah.
For 4, and then 1 for surprise. Yeah. 15.
That's enough. You slide the dagger between his ribs.
3 damage.
Ah! Yeah! He... Okay. Your blade slips between his ribs. His arms flail wildly as he falls from the horse with a sickening crack.
Can I attempt a dex check to grab the sword from his hand as he falls?
The sword is not in his hand. The sword is at his belt.
Okay.
Sure. Make a dex check, Neil. Make a dex check.
No.
No. Okay. Initiative.
Nine.
You go first. The other Johnson boy is looking dully up at you on this horse, at his brother, neck kinked to an awkward angle on the ground. Blood coming from his...
I shuffle into my saddle, pull my horse around, ride past the guy, and make a slash at him with my knife.
Roll to hit. +1 for high ground. Still take the surprise, sure, whatever. He hasn't gone yet.
5. Whoosh, whistles through the air.
Do you ride past him?
Yeah, I want to make a ride past him and then kind of gallop forward and then turn around.
He's holding a crossbow in his hands.
Oh, shit. Okay. So the idea is past him and then turn around and come back towards him with a charge next round.
Sure.
But I guess he still gets to go this round. 12 AC? Unless you don't want to give me dex check penalties while I'm sitting on a horse, in which case 14 AC. Because dexterity doesn't come into effect if you're horsebound.
No. A bolt strikes you between the shoulder blades for 2 points of damage.
Oof.
You have...
1 HP remaining.
You only have 3 max HP?
Yeah. Dem wizard.
Roll initiative. Oh. This could be your lucky day.
12.
Still your lucky day.
Okay.
Crossbow's a lot slower than a dagger. You rolled a 10 as well.
Okay, I charge at him from horseback, a knife out, and gonna skewer him as I ride by. D20 plus 3. 8. Oh, God.
Have any special maneuvers you'd like to use?
I would like to... God.
You are a trained warrior and a trained rider, right?
Yeah, I think as I ride past him, I'm going to again turn my horse around and come back at him, but I'm going to lean out of my saddle, hanging on the other side to use my horse as cover, as it dictates you can do with the horseback riding proficiency.
Okay. I was more thinking an overrun, but we'll take that.
Might do that on my next round. It's a good idea.
How much HP does your... Let's roll HP for your horse.
I think we already did. She's got 9 HP, AC 13.
For the record, I'm being kind and using the player's handbook crossbow. Your horse takes 4 points of damage.
Okay, so my AC is increased by 6 whenever I use this hanging and dropping down alongside the steed.
Get off it! Come down here and fight like a man. Johnson, get up. Johnson?
I charge at him. I'm
rolling initiative again.
Yeah. Can I use fancy to overrun him?
Yeah. If you make a what kind of horse is fancy? Just a riding horse.
Just a riding horse.
This is your fancy. If you roll a successful riding proficiency, I was going to let you try and command fancy to. She's been abused by these Johnson boys for the last day. She's rearing for
abused
revenge.
her. Fancy, get him! So I will. If I'm making an overrun, I can't also make a melee attack because there's no way I could reach someone in front of the horse, right? Or is it the sort of thing where if the overrun misses, I can make a melee attack?
Yeah, I was going to the horse tramples as you drive by, you run them over with the horse, and you can stab in the process.
Okay, cool.
But since it's not a war horse, you'd need a proficiency check to try and do it.
Okay. 5 initiative.
I don't think there's any way you can get faster than
that. Proficiency check is a 21 for my overrun.
Yeah, so make attacks for you and fancy.
My knife attack is a 20 total.
All right, maybe you don't even need to overrun.
Oh, but it's happening. It's happening. Got to pull out the books and figure out the overruns.
I was just gonna look up a horse in the monsters manual.
I would just use the horse attacks.
I think the overrun is the same thing, basically. D2. So it gets +3 to hit.
Okay. Overruns on 22. We'll take a look at that in a bit. Our 2d20 for Fancy's attacks. Fancy gets a natural 20.
Yeah. I mean, you can roll dice if you want, but this guy, this Johnson is just smashed to bloody bits.
So I get 2d...
Trampled in the mud.
He has AC 10, right?
Yes.
So my dagger clears by 10, so crits plus Fancy clears by over 10 with a natural 18 or higher, so she double crits. She does D3, you say, or D2?
Uh, D2, D2, yeah.
Okay.
So
So a
like
total of 10
5d2.
points of damage
Yeah,
as the poor lad just gets
yeah.
bloodied.
And you leave them bleeding in the mud. Chat suggests that you should attach the sword to Fancy. Turn Fancy into a battle unicorn.
That's beautiful.
One of these days, we just figure out a Twitch plays D&D and just let them make the decisions.
Overruns create an attack of opportunity for the figure being stepped on.
He's got a crossbow.
After the defender's attack, the defender must roll a successful saving throw versus paralyzation or be knocked down. Even if he does save, he's forced 1 square from the current location. The save is blah. When a defender is knocked down by an overrun, he may suffer a trampling attack. The trampler gets an attack of opportunity. That inflicts D4 points of damage per difference in size, even though the defender is prone. It's kind of a shitty overrun.
Yeah, I think. Whatever. Fancy's a monster. She just goes by monsters manual rules.
Okay, cool.
So I guess it wasn't an overrun. You commanded Fancy to attack. Actually, looking yeah. Things calm down. You actually notice a pretty nasty wound on Fancy's haunches. She takes another 3 points of damage.
Ooh, so she's taking 6 points of damage.
Should be 7, I think.
Okay.
Right, 4 plus 3. Yeah.
Oh, somehow I wrote down 3 damage.
That was from earlier in the day.
Okay. Fancy.
It looks pretty like a pretty nice, clean, square, rectangular cut in Fancy's left haunch.
Like someone cut a section of flesh out of her?
It appears to be.
Poor horsey. I go over to the first Johnson boy that I stabbed in the back.
Yeah, his dull eyes are looking up at you.
I check his pulse. Is he still breathing? I check his breath. Is he still breathing?
Actually, yeah. It doesn't look like he broke anything in the fall. His head's kinked at a weird angle, but he's still alive. Just looks knocked out. He's sort of splayed in an awkward way, but he's not as broken as he looks.
I take my longsword back from him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how does one break a neck without killing the person whose neck?
I was wrong. Breaking? He didn't break it. I described it as breaking.
No. I know, but I want to break his neck without killing him to leave him paralyzed for life.
Neil, this land is full of enough sick NPCs that would do this to you. Do you really want to sink to their level?
I mean, it's dicing with death, right? I'm playing not a very nice character.
I was wrong. It's not my grape dungeon.
I don't think Gene knows how to do that. Instead, he just takes out the sword and rolls the body off the cliff.
You remove the scabbard as well. Wait, there's no.
Yeah, I had the scabbard on mine. I think his sword was just like tucked into the belt.
Yeah. I didn't really think that one through, and neither did he.
I sheathed my sword, roll his body.
He somehow managed to not get stabbed by the bastard sword when he fell, but yeah, you roll the body off the cliff. With a loud splash, it lands in the river below.
Well, maybe he'll live, maybe he won't. I strip the other guy down. Think to myself, I should have checked that guy's pouches for my money.
You remove his overalls?
Well, I use them to tend to Fancy's wounds.
Okay. Yeah. It appears to. I mean, yeah. She's not actively bleeding. There's nothing you.
Okay. I also use them to tend to my own wounds.
You took a crossbow bolt to the back, but
yeah,
that's it.
And then I search this guy to see if he's got any of my money on him, or if he happens to have blue sand on him somehow.
No. He's got blue overalls.
I wonder if I could just get some blueberries and some sand and make blue sand.
Maybe.
I shrug. I gather my gear. Did this guy have any money on him?
Nope.
All right, so I'm just dead broke. Then I hop on Fancy and I make my way back towards the inn. I head down the staircase with her. I'll lead her down the staircase.
Yeah, you lead her down the staircase and
Uh,
onto the barge at the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Is there like a push?
Yeah,
Stick?
it's a push boat. It's big enough for Fancy to get on, but
All right.
it's going to be slow pushing.
That's
You need-
fine. I push us across the river and head back towards the inn.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, that's what I do. And then I guess we get to the inn, or something kills us along the way.
No. Let me make some. It's only like a mile back to the inn.
Okay.
So, actually, all right. As you're sort of, you pull the barge to another dock that's on the other side of the river.
Mm-hmm.
Unload Fancy, and you see some rather ominous storm clouds blowing in from the east. By the time you make it,
Keep going.
By the time you make it back to the inn, there's a torrential downpour, and I'm looking for music that is
Dark and stormy. It's
Yeah.
not just for ginger ale or ginger beer and rum. It's also for D&D characters.
I'm sure that Barrows would make a mean dark and stormy. All right, so the clouds roll in by late morning and begin dumping rain.
Is
This
there
little shanty town in the moors.
is there a place I can tie up my horse that she would be out of the rain? Or is there like a stable?
There's not.
Okay, well then I'll
There's
take her over
the
to the place that had
hitching
the
post in front.
overhang. Right? There's
there's
a porch or something.
There's a porch in front of the building across the street.
And it has an awning, right?
Yeah.
Alright, I will put her on the porch and just tie her to a post there. Even if there's not like an actual
There's an
hitching
awning
thing.
over the hitching post.
Oh, okay, cool. Then I'll hitch her there.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
Yeah.
Cool. Then, all fully
Fancy
intact,
post.
I step into the inn, to the bar, to the tavern, whatever you call it.
All right, you enter the bar and you see a single short, stout man sitting on standing behind the bar, but his nose comes like just up to the bar, having a conversation with Barrows.
They're both
Other than
behind
that,
the bar?
bar room is empty. No, Barrows is behind the bar. The other man is in front of the bar, just sort of
Okay.
basically nose on the bar.
Is this some sort of demi-human? Or, I'm sorry, subhuman?
Yeah, this looks to be a dwarf. He's also wearing sort of black and white, a different uniform than Barrows has, but still looks like an old musty uniform nonetheless. He's got a white beard and a pale face.
Okay. I saunter up to the bar and say,
He avoids eye contact and says, "Ah, Scratch. This is the man I was telling you about. What's your name? Okay, Jeannie. This is This is Heinrich. This is your aunt's manservant. I was just sending the message that you had asked.
Thank you. Please include that I've returned safely.
Heinrich, please tell her that he's returned safely.
Okay.
He grunts, but does not say a word. Heinrich avoids eye contact and slips towards the door if you don't say anything.
I don't say anything, but I watch him. I want to make sure he doesn't take my horse. Was there another horse tied up outside for him?
There was not.
Okay. I turn to Barrows as I watch the guy walk out, or I just kind of give him a glance over my shoulder and say, "Do you know how to make it dark and stormy?"
I don't even know how to make a dark and stormy.
Ginger
Heinrich
beer and
walks.
rum.
Ginger beer and rum.
A little bit of ice.
Right. Heinrich walks out with a bit of a limp
Okay.
and disappears into the storm. Dark and stormy. Coming right up.
Excellent. Those Johnson boys committed a crime. A terrible crime.
It looks like you found your sword.
Yes.
You ventured onto the Reach?
I climbed the bluffs, and those boys put a crossbow bolt in my back. And so I put a knife through one of them, my horse's hooves through the other, and rolled the first one off the bluff into the river. They will not be bothering anyone.
You murdered them?
I hardly call it murder. Did you not hear the part where I said they put a bolt in my back?
Grim tidings indeed. Do be careful, Jeannie. I'd so regret if something bad were to happen to you.
Something bad has happened to me. Did you not hear? I was shot in the back.
Yes. The back. And he goes to make your drink.
Okay.
Looking into his eyes, you don't get the impression that he's a smart man.
It's fine.
It doesn't look like there's a lot going on there.
But he's got these spell components, so I've got some questions going on. But it'll be fine. In the meantime, I think I'm just going to sit back, enjoy my drink, ask him to pat down my horse and take care of her proper like. And eat some food, head off to bed, and wait for an adventure to come my way. Or I'll just head over to my aunt's house in the morning.
Okay. All right. I guess Barrows doesn't ask for payment. He feeds you. That night he roasts a chicken. The woman and her children are back basically from midday onward. The children go out and run around in the mud for a little while. She tries to prevent it. Are you hanging out in the common room all day?
God, it is early, isn't it?
Yeah, it is like late morning when you get back.
Yeah, I'll hang out in the common room pretty much all day. I won't drink excessively. I will sip on things here and there. So I do not want to become intoxicated. But I'll just kind of hang out. And I'll ask, because this town, quote unquote, has this tavern and the general store, and that's it, right? There's no other structures.
There was the shack that you saw on the way in. I mean, maybe there's more structures up the road, but...
At some point during the day, I will ask the woman, "Excuse me, who are you? I don't see any houses nearby. Where do you come from?"
Why, how dare you ask a lady where she's from? I'm from noble stock, I'll have you know. Freddy, don't spit that out right now. I gave her a name, didn't I?
No, if you did, I didn't. Jeannie did
Yeah.
not hear it. You just named one of the other children before.
Yeah. She looks up at you from yeah. I mean, so she slaps Freddy and then looks to your boots, and her eyes trace up. She's a large woman, probably damn near 300 pounds. You were not paying attention when they came into the common room. You're not sure, and you didn't see her leave. You have a hard time imagining her getting in and out of this chair. She's just sort of sunken into it. She's got a blue, like, sort of moo that's just stained.
Are her clothes wet?
They are not. They're not. Roll for hotness, as this woman looks you up and down.
My hotness?
Your hotness.
12.
So, we're passable. So she looks to your boots and then slowly traces your curves from ankle to brow. I don't think you introduced yourself. I don't think you introduced yourself. And she presents a hand.
I will graciously, sit up and walk over and shake her hand. I am Jeannie Salwag. I am on my way to visit my aunt, Ms. Marmal.
Quite fitting. She smiles, and you see she's missing a couple of teeth. The skin on her face, on her neck, is sort of gray and mottled. Looks like her jowls look like the skin of a walrus.
Lovely.
Sort of bunches on the back of her neck as well. Oh, Jeannie and I are old friends. Old friends.
Are you now? What do you know of Randolph?
Eustace, let go of that fork.
But what do
Stop
you know?
poking your sister.
What do you know about my cousin Randolph, her son?
Oh. The mood changes. Poor thing, or sad thing about the boy. You know, he's the same age as my Freddy, or was it Eustace?
What?
I don't remember which. They used to play together as kids, but
Do tell me what happened. All I heard was that he was ill and I should come quick.
yes. He's been taken with a sickness, a bout of fits. If you ask me, I think it's a devil. Got a hold of his soul real tight.
Perhaps that's why my aunt called me. I am, after all, a champion of Belos.
Where he just loses. Well, damn it, Freddy! I said not to chew on your sister's boot. Put that out of your mouth.
While she's yelling at the kids, I just go off to my room and go to sleep. The son bewitched by a demon, perhaps. Maybe that's why my aunt called me. I must seek this out. So I spend the rest of the evening in prayer to Belos.
Bellum.
Maybe
that's why you've got a 20% chance to fail on your spell.
I keep getting his name wrong. Yeah, that's what I do.
All right. Okay, so you rest up. You're not going to gain any HP.
Nope.
Neither is Fancy. Yeah, I mean, so I guess we can fast forward to the next day. Is there anything you'd like to do at night? The storm breaks just after dark.
There's nothing I would like to do at night, but in the morning I wish to go buy some more blue sand.
With what money?
I just ask him for blue sand.
Sure, he gets you some blue sand and puts it on your tab.
Okay. I will come by one day and pay this guy back for everything. This guy's awesome. I love him. He's the best. Except he's got that weird laboratory upstairs. But to each their own. Some must
I
delve
mean,
into dark arts.
he got you the rat whiskers.
Hmm. Actually, while I'm getting the blue sand, I say,
You mentioned it. I mean, he brings it to you in the common room the next morning.
strange request. You don't happen to have a spider around here somewhere? A daddy long legs, perhaps, or something harmless?
This old house.
I'm sure it's filled with
do
them.
I do my best to keep it clean, but I'm sure I could find a spider for you. In fact, you probably saw a few spiders if you actually wanted one.
Oh, yeah, but I'm a noble. I want him to catch my spiders for me.
I'll see if I can fetch one.
I hand him the jar of bitumen and say, just put it in here.
But very well. He heads upstairs.
Okay.
While you eat your breakfast. And he comes back and he says, I found 2. And he hands you the jar of bitumen back. Did they need to be daddy long legs?
No, they just need to be any spiders.
Okay.
I just need to eat them, so I want them to not be poisonous. I know daddy long legs are venomous, but their fangs are too small to hit us. But
I think that's bullshit.
that's what I've been. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I've been told. Hopefully, eating spiders won't. If you eat a black widow, will it kill you?
I don't think so. Only if you get bit on the way down. I don't want to test it, but
yeah, like you've got some pretty strong acids in your belly. Maybe if you ate it on a full stomach, it would work its way into your system. But if you had an empty stomach and you just popped a spider in there, I wonder if the poison would be destroyed by the acid.
I don't know. This requires further experimentation. Let's go find those Johnson boys.
Oh, that would have been great. Anyway.
Yeah. So the next morning, do you memorize different spells, new spells?
Yes. Now that I have my spell book, well, I have my sand finally. I still don't have my holy symbol, so I get rid of sanctuary, and I replace it with.
You're at 1 HP. By
Orison.
Okay.
And
let's roll some spell failures. Pray to Belos. I mean Bellum. Doesn't Orison require a holy symbol?
It does not. Orison is somatic and verbal. Oh shit! No, it is somatic. No, that's a
no,
yeah.
Somatic is boogity boogities.
Okay, how many Orisons do you get? 4 per level. No, 4 plus 3 plus 1 per level. There we go.
So 4.
Yeah. So I will heal 2 points of HP myself, and I will.
3. You're down 3.
I'm down 2. I have 3 max.
Okay. Yeah.
Fancy's
down 3 plus.
Yeah, I will heal Fancy 1, leaving 1 Orison left.
Spell failures, Neil.
Oh shit.
Let's see some D100s.
Okay. One of them fails.
Are you doing low as a failure?
Yeah. Well, I was going to do a 1 to 20 as a fail.
Yeah. Okay. Then do you want to use the last Orison on yourself or on Fancy?
Yeah. So I will heal myself to full, and Fancy will just not be at
another
anything.
Spell failure.
No, I won't use the last one. I mean, Fancy will just be sucking it up. Okay. So the first two successful heals go to me.
Is Fancy at 2?
She's at 2 out of 9.
Yeah.
Now I think Spider Climb requires live spiders.
Really?
Yeah. So.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So how long will spiders last in a ceramic jar of bitumen?
A day or 2.
Couple of days. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's fine. Every couple of days, I can find new spiders. I mean,
there's a reason. I love second edition, and because it makes wizards kind of creepy.
Yeah, but I really like that character that it brings out in them. Is that like you're always going around collecting spiders and like doing weird stuff,
Hmm.
you know? Um,
Yeah.
cool. I guess I gather my gear. I
The next morning is clear and bright.
I head
Uh,
over before I head downstairs. I head over to Barrows's room,
okay.
and I give another knock on the door.
Yes, yes. You hear him slink over to the door, which creaks open, and he pokes his head through.
I
I'm not
put my arm on it and lean
disturbed.
heavily on the door while I speak to him in like a pushing it open sort of way. But if he like keeps it shut, it can stay shut.
Roll a perception check.
This is just one of those like how much effort is he putting into keeping the door closed
Yeah.
maneuvers.
Roll a perception check.
Ooh, 20 total. So
No.
close.
You think you might hear something in the room, but
It's
no.
fine.
He doesn't put too much effort into keeping the door shut. You see, there's a single candle illuminating the room, and a bunch of like shapeless forms throughout the room. It's like at first it's kind of eerie, and then you realize it's sheets covering basically everything.
Hmm.
Like all the furniture is covered with dusty sheets.
I was taking off and I wanted to give you my most sincere gratitude for your wonderful hospitality. It's been a rough road, and, well, I just wanted to thank you personally. But are you closing up shop? It looks like you're packing up.
Oh, never you mind, never you mind. And he steps forward and sort of like shuts the door and stands in front of the doorway. Uh, well, it was my pleasure to serve you, sir. Send your aunt my dearest regards.
I will. I will. I will. She see that she puts a cherry on top for you, so to speak.
I'm afraid I don't follow.
That's fine. That's fine. Good man. I clasp him on the arm and head out, thinking to myself, do I sneak in here now or do I leave it a mystery to resolve later? But I gotta go deal with this possibly demon infected child. But I'm coming back
Yeah.
for this guy one day. I hope this isn't the Halloween surprise in here. Otherwise, I'm gonna get it on non-Halloween day. But something in here is gonna be fun to play with later. But I make my way to my horse. I never did get the woman's name, did I?
No. I
That's
feel like he may
fine.
have said it, but I forgot.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. You didn't get a very firm clasp on his arm, by the way. We sort of breezed over that, but
Oh,
you
like it
tried to
didn't.
clasp his arm and he like recoiled and it was awkward.
Okay.
And you head out front and grab Fancy.
Yeah.
Fancy's a little crabby this morning. There's a water barrel near the hitching post that's collected water from the rain, but you don't think Fancy's been fed since yesterday on the grass.
Shake my head. I let her be hungry and ride off. I'll let her eat when we stop for lunch. Or when we take a lunch break. I don't have any food, but she can
Where
eat.
do you go?
Well, I have directions to my aunt's estate. I believe it's northward still, so I head northward.
Yeah, do you follow the road?
I do.
Okay.
On
Actually,
the
eventually the
road
road sort of
again.
fades into what's that?
On the road again. Bum, ba-dum, bum. Everything fades.
Yeah, eventually the road fades into the moors, heading vaguely northwest up these rolling green hills.
Hmm.
Um, you lose sight of the road. There's still some ruts dug in by wagons, faintly, but they sort of crisscross the hills, and you're not entirely sure where to go. I mean, you know that your aunt's manor house should be a couple of miles northwest of that shanty town. But
Well, I head northwest and uphill if there is a uphill to go. I figure a manor house would be built on the higher ground, so if I just head towards high ground, while it's in that direction, I should probably find something.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. You wander through the moors into the moors and off the road. You're just asking for a werewolf attack, says chat.
I guess I could break my silver mirror and stab a werewolf with it.
Yeah. So you wander for a few hours, not seeing another soul or any sign. You pass a shack or two, a few sheep,
Mm-hmm.
but otherwise featureless hills. And you start to get worried that maybe you don't know where you're going. Maybe you're lost. It's been so many years since you've seen your aunt's house. And did you ever even come here? None of this seems very familiar. When you round a hill or crest a hill, and you look up the next hill towering over you, and atop it is a great gray manor house. There are a row of large pillars, sort of like a plantation-style home.
Mm-hmm.
Looks to be 2 stories, maybe a third small attic, and just stands as a massive gray brick atop the hill. It's still some hundreds of feet down and then up.
I survey
this must be the place.
I survey the terrain. Does it look passable? Does it look dangerous?
Smooth. I mean, everything's kind of muddy, but it's green grass, rather featureless. Occasional bush, but no trees.
I push Fancy onward.
You see a crude brown wooden fence, maybe another few hundred feet at the base of this hill.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just sort of like 2 beams with posts every so often. So you can either have Fancy step over it or
I presume
try and find an opening.
Yeah, I look for the gate.
Yeah, there's not even a gate. There's just like a gap in the fence. But there is a gravel drive up to the front of the manor house.
Okay, I take Fancy along it, and make my way to the manor house.
Yeah, a couple hundred feet up the hill, you pass a desiccated hedge wall. Looks like this was once a row of hedges, but it's since withered and died. There's various stone statues on the inside of that. Naked babies dancing in fountains, and a lion and a dragon scattered amongst the untended remains of the garden. You approach the front door. Yes?
Yeah, I ride the horse all the way up to the front of the manor house.
Mm-hmm. It's silent. You don't see a soul about.
No one saw me coming up and came out to greet me? How rude or mysterious. I get to the door and look for a hitching post for Fancy.
There is no hitching post.
Is there any post or anything at all that I could just like loop
it's like a
reins
porch
around?
up a couple of steps. I mean, there's the huge columns.
Okay. Are they too big to tie the reins around?
You can tie the reins around them. I mean, they're
cool.
just maybe a foot in diameter.
All
They're
right,
square.
I kind of wrap the reins around and
Square
give him a
columns.
loose tucking in, just enough that the horse knows that it's tied up and won't try to pull away. And then I go to the front door and open it and step in.
Roll a riding check.
Where is my... There it is.
Or animal handling if you have it.
25 for riding.
Okay.
I do not have animal handling.
Fancy gets the picture and she stays put. But she looks longingly at the grass.
She can get fed in a bit. She can chill.
You approach the door.
I open the door. And I stand in the door, I like open the door and kind of give it a push. I really expected someone to meet me here. It feels abandoned. It feels weird. I don't like the looks of this.
You throw the double doors open, and see a marble-lined entryway. That's the word I'm looking for.
Foyer.
Foyer? Sure, foyer. There's a double set of marble staircases up on either side, and a large hallway in front of you with a big glass set of windows directly across.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Pretty much. Less than a minute later, you hear a from the side, followed by some stomping and scraping. I
tighten my shield around my arm and kind of place the shield in front of me and my other hand on my sword hilt. So it kind of looks like I'm just crossing my arms with the shield in front of me with my hands on my sword.
Yeah. The short gray dwarf comes limping from the side hallway.
I relax my arms.
Yeah.
Ah,
he
Heinrich.
Staggers up to you and looks up.
How is Randolph doing?
He avoids your eyes and just sort of stands awkwardly beside you.
I still ask him a direct question, even if he doesn't make eye contact.
Yeah. You catch a glimpse of his cold eyes, and he looks past you and sees the horse and begins limping towards it.
Strange one. Upstairs, is he? Heinrich. Randolph, is he upstairs?
He turns and nods, and then goes to take care of your horse.
All right. I let myself in, still geared up. Actually, as he goes to my horse, I go over and put a little perfume on, and take out my spell book and carry that hold it in my hand that my shield is strapped to, and make my way up the staircase.
Yes, you make your way up the marble staircase. There's a single hallway going left and right. As you stand there deciding which way to go, from the right bursts your Aunt Jeannie. She's wearing a faded yellow dress, but it looks like it was once quite fine. Quite proper. Very billowy and all the whale bones and whatnot in the underbust. Her hair looks like it's done up, but it's sort of fallen loose. She's younger than your mother, but rather homely and plain.
Okay.
Ah, Jeannie. It's been so many years.
It has been,
rushes out to embrace you.
I give her one of those awkward one-armed hugs.
Mm-hmm.
How is your son?
Oh, I'm so glad that you've come. It truly warms my heart to see you.
Yes, the road was dangerous. I had some problems along the way.
I'm so sorry that you had some trouble. Can Can I fetch you anything to eat or drink?
No, I've come a long.
Heinrich! Heinrich!
I've come a long way. I wish to see to the boy. I've heard rumors along the road.
Yes. He's been having fits, and it's been interfering with his schooling and with his play.
Just fits? Nothing unnatural about them?
Oh heavens, no! Would you like to see him?
I
He's up.
would. I very much would like to see him.
Okay. She takes your hand and leads you down the hallway.
Okay. I
Uh,
let her take my hand, but I definitely do not like reciprocate the grip. You know.
all right. She leads you down the hall, past a couple of doors, into the sort of the last door at the end of the hall,
Hmm.
and opens it quietly. Oh, he's sleeping. Come, isn't he such a sweet boy?
I walk over to the
Step into
bedside.
room.
and
The
examine
curtains are drawn. The room is dark. You can hear the faint pattering of rain, at least drizzle, picking up on the roof, and you see a small shape under the covers.
I lean over and look at the face of the child.
His face is pale.
I put out a hand and feel his forehead.
Do you have any like medicine?
No.
Okay. Roll an intelligence check.
It's my int 12? Yeah. 23?
His head is cold.
Like dead cold
Quite
or
cold.
just like he's got chills? Like there's a difference between like putting your hand on him and it feels like a desk and like he feels like a chilled person.
It's cold and it's a little clammy, and you smell an acrid smell in the air.
I put the back of my hand just underneath his nose and above his lips to see if I can feel any breath on it. I leave it there for 10 seconds or so.
Yeah, there's no breath.
I
Judging by the smell, he's probably been dead for some days.
I look to the ant, look back to the child, and pull back the sheets.
You pull back the sheets.
Yeah, like down to his waist.
Okay. You reveal his night clothes. He's wearing a set of pajamas. Oh, this
Are they buttoned down the front?
Yes, they're buttoned down the front.
I unbutton them.
Pale blue pajamas.
I want to see like his chest and torso. See if
His
there's
chest and swords are pale, but you can see the veins showing starkly through his pale skin.
okay, but there's no signs of trauma.
No. But his veins stick out like spider webs of green and blue.
I look at my aunt, make eye
She looks
contact with
back
her.
at you with an ignorant smile. Her eyes kind of glazed over.
I pull the sheets back up without buttoning the shirt, and then pull the blankets and sheets back up, and then just pull the sheet itself over his head. But before I do, his eyes are already closed. I take it. She thinks he's asleep. His eyes must be
Yeah,
closed.
his eyes are closed.
I pull the sheet over his head and say, "Auntie, how long has he been like this?"
She cocks her head to the side. He hasn't had his breakfast yet, but I figured I shouldn't wake him.
Would you try to for me, please? And I take a few steps back from the bed, cross my arms again, and put my hand on my sword.
She goes over and then puts her hand on him and says, I shouldn't disturb him.
Did he have dinner last night?
I think so.
When was the last time he was outside?
I can't right remember.
Auntie, how long has Cousin Randolph been dead?
What are you? What are you saying?
Wake the
He's not dead.
boy.
He's just sleeping.
He's dead.
He's just sleeping.
He's dead, Auntie. He's been dead for some time.
She she shakes him and cries. He's sleeping, and breaks down to her knees by the side of the bed.
You know, at first I kind of thought that Henrik dude was just a weird dwarf. I am beginning to suspect something most foul.
I think with that we'll head into our maybe third and final break. I
So,
feel like there's so many more dungeons left to explore.
you know, I don't have anything to do. If you ain't got nothing to do, we could run over. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll
We'll see
see.
what happens.
See you guys on the other side.